For the gradebook, all grades for each student can be found in the course gradebook or grader report in settings, then course administration, and then grades. The grader report collects items that have been graded from the various parts of Moodle that are assessed, and that allows you to view and change them as well as sort them out into categories and calculate totals in various ways. When you add an assessed item in Moodle course, the gradebook automatically creates a space for it and will also add the grades themselves as they are generated, either by the system or you can do it yourself. Okay, to find the gradebook, you come on down to the left side. Make sure that you're in Settings in the Course Administration and come right on down to Grades. I have one student here in my grade book, so you can see Samantha's grades here. She's got some forums, and you notice that there's a subtotal for the forums. And then I have some quiz, a small quiz subtotal, and an assignment, one assignment here. And then you can see that I put a few quizzes in that don't have any kind of category currently. And so there's a subtotal for that. Actually, that's not a subtotal, that's the course total. And you can see how well Samantha has done on all of her quizzes here, either 19s or 20s. So you can see that not only can you move in here, but then you have a few things. You can sort certain grades in ascending and descending order. You can sort by students, either by surname or first name, email address, and so on and so forth. You can also close up certain areas. So by clicking on the little minus sign, you can make certain areas smaller so that you can bring in grades closer to where you're working. So that makes it a little bit nicer. You can also at the bottom of the list of students see an overall average of each assignment, so you can see that. Now if you're looking up here, it says Grader Report. If I click on that and I come on down to Full View, when I have on Full View, what it'll allow me to do is see all of my items here and then what my grades are, and I can make some changes in here. Also, I can add a grade item down here at the bottom. So let's say that you had something in one of your assignments that you didn't necessarily put in a grade for it, and now you want to give a grade. You can add that item. Maybe you had a field trip or you had a project that wasn't necessarily something that you put in the grade book and you just want to add a grade. You can do that very easily by clicking at the bottom. Now remember that you have to be in full view or even in simple view. Either one of those will give you this item down here at the bottom, and you can click add an item and then put in the information that you want to say. Let's say this was field trip, and then coming down we're going to use a value and we're going to say that was worth 10 points and no minimum grade, and then you could say if you needed to do anything else, save changes, and that will be inside your gradebook. And so as we kind of look down here, you'll notice that it will be at the bottom. Here's field trip, and then we can add in. And then if we go back to our regular view of grader report, we'll notice that at the end of Samantha's grades here, we do have one more for field trip. Click on the little pencil and we can add in some more points. So let's say she got 10 points for going on the field trip, and save. And now we've added that into her grade book at the end here. Alright, so she's got some extra points. Alright, if you have any questions over this, you can always come and talk with us over in Learning Technologies. We'd be glad to help. Now, if you want to make one of the items accessible, in other words, you want it to be in the gradebook, you have to do that at the beginning so that the grades will show up automatically. So let's add an item and just show you how to do that. So we'll click on Add an Activity, and let's say we're putting in an assignment, and click Add. Okay, and then we go through the normal settings like you've seen before, but if we want it to show up in the gradebook, we want to make sure that we use our feedback area or grading area to make sure that we're going to click in here. So let's say we wanted it to be 10 points. So we could slide down here to 10 points. And then simple grading. We're not using a rubric on that. And if you happen to have a specific category that you had made in the gradebook, you could add it. I'm going to click assignments and then it'll put it there. I'm just going to put a name up here so we can recognize it. Test assignment. And then test assignment here. And then what this does is it allows us to then grade this assignment and give feedback to the student. So we can click on Save and Return to Course, and then when we go to the gradebook, you'll see that this is automatically made room in the gradebook for it and put in it in my category, where I put in a category of assignments. I'm going to click on Grades. And then if you look in assignments, I need to open it up a little bit. You could see our test assignment right here and a place where I could grade it here, or again, you could always grade it in the assignment area. When you're grading all of the students at one time, that grade would automatically be put here in the gradebook. Okay, so let's say that you had some specific categories that you wanted to have in your gradebook. Like for instance, for me, I like to have fora or forum or discussion areas, and then quizzes, and then assignments. You may also have an area for exams, something like that. So if you wanted to put in some categories for your gradebook, you could do that. You need to be in a different view. So change from grader report view down to full view. And then you'll be able to see at the bottom, you have to come all the way down to the bottom, just like when you were adding a grade. Here you can add a category. So let's say I wanted to add a category for an exam, because I don't have anything for exams. So maybe I'll just put in exam for my, and how do you want to add those together? Is it just a mean, weighted mean, simple weighted mean, so on and so forth? You know, however you want to put that together, you can choose how you want that to be. And then if you have a maximum grade for each one of your exams, like let's say maybe you have 4 exams and each one is worth 100 points, you could put that right in here, and then it would use that each time. And then so I'm going to go ahead, and it's inside the course gradebook, so we just click Save Changes. And then any item that we have that we want to move into that category, you'll notice that as we come down, you can see it's right here. We can add an item to that area. So after making a category, to move one of your items into the category, you have to select it. Now sometimes you can't see all the way to the right of the screen, so I had to make my screen a little bit smaller by doing Control and then the dash to make my screen just a little bit smaller so I could see the selection over here. But let's say I wanted to take the hand and power tool quiz and put it in exams. I want to select it and then say choose and move to exam, and then say Save Changes. And then as we come down, you'll see then it's been moved into the exam area. So that's just one way of doing that. Super nice way of handling those kind of items. Another thing that you can do when you want to grade something, like let's say we had an assignment, so I'm going to click Test Assignment here. You can come in here and see and view all of the different kinds of submissions, just like you would have through the assignment. So you can go more than one way for grading and assessing different items in the gradebook.